Line's good.
Never on.
Whoa.
Hard. Hard, Reese.
Come on, Brent.
Line's good.
Got real close.
I hear high, right?
Try and hit 2/3.
Have they saved it for her? Yes, they have.
Ooh, welcome to Game of Stones, everybody. I am Sean Graham, Scott, socially distancing as always. Hello, Scott.
Sean, I got some big news.
Oh my goodness, I'm excited.
I closed my screen door specifically to record this.
Wow.
And it's really hot outside, so I don't know how long we're gonna last today.
Yeah, it is very warm here in the nation's capital. We've gone from talking about how it was snowing like 2 weeks ago to now a bit of a heat wave here as it's almost like the climate's changing, Scott.
Yeah, pretty crazy, right?
Very strange, but it was nice. Nice weekend here in Ottawa. I went out a couple times just walking around. Streets are closed in a couple of spots, so just trying to get out and about as we continue to deal with the worldwide pandemic. But there's still curling stuff to talk about. Last week we talked about all the new news and the updates that have come out about fall schedule, potential ways in which the curling clubs can deal with social distancing, and of course the new points system that was laid out by the World Curling Tour. This week, though, Scott, getting back into some of our normal traditional summer episodes, and one of the things we talk about a lot on this show are the broadcasters and how much we like most of them and some of the great calls and how we feel as though a really great broadcast, a really great call of a shot adds to the experience of seeing that shot live.
Yeah, of course. And not only the broadcasters doing such a great job, but hearing the players and their celebrations of such an event, directly with the microphone, can lead to a lot of great moments that we've seen on television the last however many years it's been televised.
Well, at least 40. What? 35, 40?
Yeah, I think at least since I was born. I'm not yet 40, so.
Yeah, not yet a man.
Not yet a man.
So we've talked about it a lot, and what Scott has now gone and done, he went back and put together 10 of the greatest shots, or the calls of shots, and has ranked them. I don't know what the rankings are. I'm very excited for what these will be. I have some guesses as to what will be where and what will be included in the list, but I don't know. So, Scott, before we get into it, what was your criteria for coming up with these 10 calls?
Sean, last week, while I was avoiding going outside in the sun, because I don't get along well, I went on YouTube and I searched for a bunch of curling shots that I had sort of had in my mind as, these could be really great calls. Either they were, a huge shot to win an event, just a great shot overall with a great call, either Vic, Mudryk, the CBC guys back in the day. I will tell you, there's quite a few that I went back to thinking they would be great, and they ended up being terrible. One that comes to mind, I'll spoil the list a little bit, but Anna Hasselberg's shot to win the Europeans against Eve Muirhead this year, was not a great call. It was just sort of like, and it's a tough one, and she's made it. And then you hear them celebrating, and I was really disappointed because I thought, man, that was such a great shot to win such a big event. You'd think that the call would be good, but it wasn't.
Well, I mean, wasn't that a British crew, though? So it was exciting by British standards.
Yeah, I guess so. I've heard soccer guys go pretty nuts when announcing.
That's true.
My favorite ever soccer call, I'll tell you real quick. I believe it was the 2002 Euros.
Mm-hmm.
Or was 2002 a World Cup year? Yeah, it was a World Cup year. So it must have been that. And the English announcer announcing a Portugal game, and it was a very young Cristiano Ronaldo. And he said, "It seems that Ronaldo has lost his teddy bear." because he was like complaining and crying a little bit.
Cristiano Ronaldo complaining, that doesn't
Yeah, that doesn't add up.
that
Right?
doesn't really happen.
Right. So I've got 10 that I think are really good. There's a mix of like pretty good shots and good calls. I think all of them are important shots. There's none that are like a random double peel in the middle of a week at an event. But
Right.
but they're all pretty good.
I mean, but that's part of it, right? I mean, if we go with certainly the Vic scale, right? Vic gets more into it as the week goes, and frankly, that's the way it should be. You know, a double takeout on third rocks in the third end of the Monday night game shouldn't get the same call as a shot to win on Sunday night.
No,
in
you're
the
right.
final, right? Like there has to be that scale, and the call has to be reflective of how important the shot is in a wider scale. There's sometimes where there's exceptions, and I think we might hear one of those, at least one of those on this list, where just the shot is so crazy that you kind of go nuts anyway. But generally speaking, and I assume there's going to be a lot of Vic here. Not exclusively Vic, but I think a lot of Vic. That's one of the things that I think Vic is really good at. And frankly, Faulds is really good at that as well. Scott Russell's good at it. Rona, I'm a huge Rona fan. When she calls games, that's a skill that she has as well, is really reflecting how important the shot is into the call.
Yeah, exactly. And of course, if you've got things that we missed, please let us know, because there's tons of great calls out there,
Yep.
and it's really fun just to watch them all. So
Yeah.
I've got all the YouTube clips lined up. I think they're all queued up to the right spot as well. Some of them I pulled from full games.
Okay.
But we're going to try to play them live and listen to your reaction as I go through the list.
All right, let's do it. So ranking these from 10 to 1. So let's start with your number 10 call, Scott. What is it?
Sean, do you want me to tell you what it is and then play it, or play it and then I'll tell you?
No,
what
let's play it and then see if I can guess even what it is.
Okay. Yeah, it should be pretty easy to do. So without further ado, here is... Do you want me to say the event or just... No.
No,
Just play
let's
it.
just play it.
Okay, I'm doubting myself. All right, here we go.
Kevin Martin and his first.
Wait,
He
wait,
does
wait,
have
wait,
the hammer,
yeah.
trailing by one.
Real hard line. Come on, Mark. Line only. Hard. Real
Hebert,
hard.
Kennedy,
Line only,
again,
Johnny.
what, 14 and a half or
14
so?
and a half.
Whoa. Deep.
That would be deep.
Room.
They hammered it to get it by the top one,
Don't start with me.
and then it'll go back there.
Straight up in the air with a hair broom. Right. What? Just watch. They're about to show it. Let's watch right now. Watch. Just watch. Just watch the video. Maybe it was an accident. Here it is. Watch this. Hair broom straight up. Right there. Kind of an important shot too, Ben.
We talk about what the brushing stroke must be, and you must finish away so there's no chance of debris going under it. I believe that was the conversation.
There's no question that was the conversation.
All right, that's the perfect place to end it, I think.
That is brilliant. So that is 2009 trials.
Yeah, the trials.
Yeah, so this is one of my favorites as well. So the situation, I have no idea where in the game this is, but Ben Hebert has a hair broom. The shot is heavy despite all the sweeping they've done. And Ben Hebert pulls the hair broom straight up in front of the rock. So that's dumping. If you've never heard of that, of course, with hair brooms not really being a thing anymore, what you would do is raise the broom in front of the rock, hoping that something would fall off of it and it would slow down, basically trying to make it. And you hear Richard Hart, more Richard Hart than Glenn Howard in the moment, being kind of pissed about it. And, when I love when Richard is like, don't give me that. Like, don't start with me, Ben. As Richard Hart is sweeping the rock behind the tee line, it's brilliant.
Yeah, the thing that makes it for me is Linda talking about, I think that was the conversation, and Ray, that was definitely what they were talking about.
There's no question that's what they're talking about.
like so good. That's exactly what the third person in the booth should be chiming in with.
Yes, 100%. That is their job right there. That is a brilliant call. And I think if I were to try to summarize Ray Turnbull, I think that might be it.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, just brilliant. And and it harkens back. I mean, that's over 10 years ago, but it's not that long ago. And I mean, so much has changed, right? The hair brooms aren't a thing anymore. There's no real rules on how you have to sweep in terms of the direction and all that stuff. And that would not happen today.
No. And earlier in the week, last week, I watched the 2013 Trials semifinal.
Yeah.
Because I was like, oh yeah, David Nedwin played with Kevin Martin for a year. That's weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was like shocked at all the hair brooms. It was just sort of like, oh my god, I can't believe they're doing it. And that's only 7 years ago. So
yeah. So
nice.
That's a strong start. Hebert dumping in the what game was that? Was that round robin?
I believe it was the 1-2 game. But
they don't do that. They don't do that in trials.
Oh, that's right. Sorry, I'm opening this up. The final round robin game was between those two.
All right, probably for first place, if I had to guess.
Yeah, likely.
And the bye to the final. So all right, so that's a good one. That's a great place to start. Ray Turnbull, rest in peace, Ray Turnbull. Always love Ray.
Always. All right, next up, here we go.
So here we go. This is it. Final stone in 10.
Sure.
Brad Gushue, this is all he's got. Run back, try. Bang the yellow. Come back, red onto yellow. You kidding me?
What a shot!
The impossible becomes reality here in Calgary. That was epic.
All right, Sean.
So that is so obviously that's the Mooj and Nedwin, which means that it had to be 20. Is that 15?
2015. You're right.
Where they had the two broadcasts going at the same time, and Gushue.
That's Gushue. Yeah, that was Gushue against Alberta.
To win, not shots, to win.
To win the game, and it was a run back. Yeah. That sort of had to spin backwards to catch the second rock. Yeah, I think my favorite part of this is Mudryk saying, "The impossible becoming reality."
Yeah, like how does he miss it that badly? And like he takes the pause, he clearly thinks about it. Like the impossible becomes possible. That's the line, Brian.
That's the line. Mudryk.
You're a professional broadcaster. How did you miss it?
Yeah, so that one's really good. That was part of Curling Canada's top shots of the year for 2015.
Yeah, I kind of like Nedwin on there as well, like sort of him almost laughing when it happens.
Yeah, it's sneaky, right? Like
yeah,
it was such an incredible shot. Like I say, it wasn't a shot to win a playoff game or to win a Brier or anything, but it was to win a game, and it was pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. And it's sort of like with comedians, right? I like if I'm seeing if I'm at a comedy club or Just for Laughs or whatever, I like to be in a place where I can see other comedians because I like it when a comedian can make another comedian laugh. I find that very entertaining. Yeah. This is the same thing, right? When Gushue can make someone like Nedwin be like, whoa, like that makes it even more impressive in my book.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
So let's move on. Number 8.
Number 8. This one's maybe a little more famous.
It's simply known as The Shot, and the TV commentators gave Al Hackner
Spoiler.
a 1 in 1,000 chance of making it.
Hackner must kill both Alberta Stones and save the shooter.
Oh, he's well out there. Now it's starting to curl. Is he going to hit it today?
He's going to get a piece of it. He may have it.
Oh, it's a Can you believe that?
So that's from a news clip that I had to find that. So
yeah.
Obviously that's Al Hackner and The Shot in 1985. Maybe the most famous shot in curling until another one that we'll get to later on this list.
Yeah, and that's a cool call too because they're right behind the sheet And it's like, well, and sort of in real time, like, well, it's out there. Oh, wait, it will touch it. Oh, you might have it. And you can sort of in there. I mean, that's a dialogue that when I throw, I have that as well. You know, it's especially when I skip for whatever reason. You know, this year I was skipping a game and I had a wide open hit to win the game, and I let it go, and I immediately said, "Uh-oh." I made it. Like it was a nose hit, and I made a nose hit. Like I made the shot, but I let it go, and I don't know, just because it was not right on the stone at that point, I was like, oh no, it clearly means it's gonna miss it, and then it just curled because that's what the stones are supposed to do, and it hit it. But that's sort of what that reminds me of. If that initially you let it go, you're like, okay, yeah, right. You know, that sort of process that at least I have when I'm skipping.
Right. And a lot of people think this shot was to win the Brier, but it actually wasn't. It was to tie the game and send it into an extra end, where the team that led Northern Ontario team ended up stealing the win in the 11th.
Right.
And then went on to win the World Championship that year as well. So.
Yeah, it's sort of like it's like Bill Buckner, it's like Bartman, it's like the Soviet Union USA game in 1980, that none of those things actually decided the events. Mm-hmm. You know, like Buckner was game 6. They had to play game 7 the next night. Same thing with Bartman in 2003. The Soviet Union USA game, they had to play another game. Like that wasn't the gold medal game. And it's one of those things where, same thing with the shot. If Northern Ontario doesn't steal in the 11th end, does anyone really remember it? Or certainly, is it remembered in the same way? And I would argue probably not.
Yeah, probably not. Excuse me, probably not. You're right.
All right, so let's move on to number 7.
All right, number 7 coming at you.
Fantastic shot. You can only see a sliver of this. That rock's about 4 inches off the center line. The guard's about 2.5, so there's very little room here.
Pick it. Yep. What can I see?
Oh yeah, I know this one.
I mean, you can see the only other option. I don't have a draw to the button.
This one's a bit long.
In the way.
Do you see worth it though.
Enough for what I need to hit.
Yeah. Which is a sliver.
Okay, let's make this.
Need a bit of speed here too, Linda. You could tick this thin. It's only going to go a couple of feet.
I think she's got it for 2. I don't mind the shot.
Oh yeah, no, I thought we had to play that.
Little less.
It curled more than
less. Little less.
I'll throw some weight here. At least normal looks like.
Final still.
Yeah.
Up by 1.
Whoa. Yes. Whoa. Whoa.
Westcott, Wilson backing off. Can she pick this right off the face by the guard? Can she pick it off the face? Oh my, what a shot! Kathy Overton Clapham. And those in the Manitogas are loving it. They have an expression here in PEI. If you're not from here, you're an FFA. You're from far away. But tonight, Kathy Overton Clapham, she is an Islander.
It's great.
Yeah, that one's a really good one.
Love that one. That's a great call.
You maybe don't get it from just the audio, but she had literally, I would say, an inch of the rock she was trying to hit. It was behind a guard.
Yeah, but that's all she needed to hit, as she said.
As she said, you're right. And yeah, Vic throwing in the, if you're not from here, you're FFA.
Yeah.
Like,
and the Manitogas too.
The Manitogas.
Fans in togas, it's great. I think though my favorite thing of the whole thing is her asking for less ice multiple times. Yeah. Little less. Like for as much as I remember that game, the thing that stands out for number 2 for the 2011 Scotties is that was Kathy O's entire week.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It was just little less, a little less. Like every time she went down, she asked for a little less ice. It was great.
And that was her playing against Jennifer Jones the first time.
Yeah. Which is why
she dumped her. Yeah.
That reaction from the crowd was so big, and people were so into that game, and even Kathy herself gives a big fist pump after that shot. And I think, too, that's why Vic is a little more ramped up for a Wednesday night game. One of the teams has no chance of making the playoffs, but certainly Vic was into it as well because the crowd was.
Yeah, the crowd was so into it, and you've described this as one of your favorite favorite to watch. So great call. Tonight she's an Islander.
For sure. Yeah.
Gives you some chills. In as much as a game that doesn't matter at all.
Just brilliant.
All right.
Yeah, for sure.
Next one.
Number 6. Yeah.
Yeah, really hard. Yeah, just stick that one, see what happens. In turn. Or is out turn better to ricochet? Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Final stone of the 10.
Yep.
Really hard, running back, jumping across. Oh, goodness! Oh, my!
And that's for 3.
And the win to remain undefeated. Glenn Howard.
As long as you live, Vic, you'll never see a better shot than that.
Whoa. As long as I live, Sean.
Yeah. Well, certainly in Ray's case, that was true.
Yeah, I guess that's true. That's that's Glenn Howard making his famous shot against Joel Jordison. Is that right?
Yep. Joel Jordison out of Saskatchewan. He makes a double, and the rock that he initially hit, the first one he hits on his double, goes back and does another double on a couple Saskatchewan stones, and he's down 2 in the 10th end, and he makes it for 3.
Makes it for 3 to win. That's the 2009 Brier. The 2000 sort of 8-9 Briers are, is it going to be Glenn Howard or is it going to be Kevin Martin who wins?
Yeah.
They're easily the 2 best teams in the country.
Yep.
And for Glenn to have maybe lost to a Saskatchewan team that would have been middle of the pack that week, it would have really hurt him going into the playoffs. So they were pretty fired up.
Yeah, and just a great atmosphere there too. I believe it was the last game on the ice. His brother was there, and Vic. What I like about the call too is Vic doesn't know what to say. He just says "oh my" 3 times, but he has no idea what to say, and neither, frankly, does Ray. And when Ray says "as long as you live," in real time, that's sort of a compilation of the highlight of the shot. In real time, Ray doesn't say that for another couple minutes.
Yeah.
And it's just sort of everyone trying to understand exactly what happened, the angles, it was incredible. And maybe in 2020 that shot is especially based on what we saw this year at the Brier with some of those closing shots, maybe it doesn't stand out as much, but at the time that was unbelievable. There's a great clip too of the 2010 American Olympic curling team, so Schuster and company. They go on the Colbert Show when it was still Colbert doing his conservative commentator character, that show. And they're trying to, Colbert says, what's the greatest shot you've ever seen? And they try to describe that shot to Stephen Colbert. And Colbert clearly, I don't know if he actually understands curling or not, but the character clearly doesn't, because the guy's like, so he had to run one back into this, and Colbert's like, oh yeah, that's the good stuff. And it's great.
Yeah, it's really good, really good. I've labeled that clip Glenn Howard, oh my.
Yeah, I like that.
So that's the first half. Any overall comments?
I think these are great. I don't see anything that shouldn't be on the top 10. Some great calls there, some great moments for sure. Like you say, the Hebert dumps one, is it without the button of Ray? I guess it probably isn't good. So even though it's more about the Richard Hart, Ben Hebert interaction, having Ray be the button to that little scene certainly adds the value there. Yeah. But yeah, overall, I would say, I don't know, maybe the shot's a little low, but let's see.
All right. We're going forward here.
The Stoughton spinorama.
You know he's not far off either here. The line's perfect.
Line's good. Line's
This
good.
one is already decided.
Perfect line. Perfect line.
Can you come on? Come on. Come on. Come on. No, no, no. Magic Mike. Magic Mike.
So what is that from, Sean?
That is a Continental Cup event. I don't know the year, and I want to say that's even like a singles, but I don't know for sure.
I think it was a singles, a draw through the port. Mike McEwen, the match had already been decided, and Mike McEwen put on a spinorama shot for the crowd. And not only did he put a spinorama shot on, he put it on the lid.
What's great about this clip too? So Vic says "come on" 3 times. Says "no, no, no," Magic Mike, "oh my," and then Russ has a tendency to say this a lot, but like how underwhelming is it for him to go from Vic sort of going nuts to Russ just say "wow"? That's a really weird combination.
Yeah, I think what sold me on this clip being so good is obviously not the stakes of it, right? It's just the rarity of that shot, and then the incredulity of Vic Router as it's coming down, and he's like, I can't, does not compute. Like, because every time you've seen Stoughton, do that spinorama shot, it's just for fun. It's like, let's throw it away.
Throw through,
or throw a hit or something. For him to do that and slow down and be controlled enough to then throw a perfect draw to the button is just insane. And I think Vic losing his mind was worth it.
Come on. No. Oh, Vic is the best.
Pretty good.
That's a good one. Yeah, that one is all call. That one is purely the call.
Yeah.
Because like you say, no stakes there whatsoever.
None. And it does remind you how fun the Continental Cup can be.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, on to the next. Number 4.
Weagle. Have they saved it for her? Yes, they have.
So, Sean, we're a little bit familiar with that shot.
A little bit.
That's all I'll play.
So that's the 2014? No, 17. It's more recent than 17 Scotties.
Yeah, they're playing against Michelle Englot, and that is the double in the 10th end that Rachel makes. Very thin double to push the game to give Michelle Englot and Team Manitoba the draw for 2 to tie. She was facing 3, basically needed to make a double, otherwise they have a shot for 3 to win.
Yeah, if she misses that shot, then Michelle Englot has a wide open draw, 4-3, and a national championship. And then, they were sweeping it right out of her hand the whole way. That's why Vic says, have they saved it for her? Because it's just the whole time down the ice. And it was a bullet, too. Great sweeping by Joanne Courtney and Lisa Weagle on that one. But, yeah, that's a call we, of course, love. It's in the intro. I'm a huge fan of it. And what I either forgot about this or didn't know it, Cheryl afterwards, again, the nice contribution from the color person, just saying incredible. Like
incredible.
Cheryl, she doesn't sound amazing. She doesn't sound like it's incredible. It sounds like she's at a diner and somebody just brought her a club sandwich and she's like, oh, incredible. Like that's how excited she sounds.
Yeah, I think she must have gone to the Russ Howard School of keep your emotions in check. Let Vic be the one that freaks out.
Yeah, don't get too high with the highs or low with the low.
Exactly.
And I guess, especially for Cheryl, who's still playing a little bit, that you don't want to seem biased. And I know that like play-by-play people get accused of this. If something exciting happens and they act excited about it, they get accused of being biased in favor of that team. Whereas, I think Joe Buck has come around to the point of like, exciting things are exciting. And if something exciting happens, I'm going to be excited about it and deal with it. If it's against your team, that doesn't mean I hate your team. And if it's for your team, it doesn't mean I love your team. It means that something exciting has happened.
Yeah. And Joe Buck is a good example because he sort of had to change his style so many times because one, it wasn't working. And then he had problems with his vocal cords and had to learn how to talk again, basically. So, and he does get accused all the time of being like, oh, you love the Yankees or oh, you love the Red Sox. But really, he just likes exciting things.
Yeah.
And exciting things happen in those games.
Yeah, and I think Vic is really good at that too. That exciting things are exciting.
Yeah, very good.
That's it.
So we've got 3 left, Sean.
Yeah. Also, I think that should be on my tombstone epitaph.
Exciting things are exciting?
Exciting things are exciting.
All right. Noted. Maybe we could just have an audio speaker there playing this episode of the podcast over and over.
Well, there goes the neighborhood. All right, number 3.
Number 3. Here we go.
She will be Canadian champion if she makes this shot.
This is so tough.
A most difficult attempt, trying to come in off a stone on the outside, trying to get the roll to the stone at the button. They're working on it frantically. There's the contact. There's the roll. She's made it.
I'll admit that's like a lot of screaming.
It is a lot of screaming. No question about it. But that, of course, is Jennifer Jones winning her first Scotties in 2005?
2005, you got it.
Yeah, so that, really incredibly famous call there. Famous shot, of course. The in-off at about 10 o'clock into the button. In that shot. What I love, Scott, too, a young Mike Harris before she throws. This is so tough, which is very different from how Mike Harris is now, where everything's there.
Oh, yeah, I think it's there.
I think that's there.
Yeah, no, it was a pretty good call. Sort of like, oh, there's the contact, and she's made it.
And she's made it, yeah.
And then just letting them scream like crazy for, I don't know, another 2 minutes after that.
Right.
I used to watch curling in the Weather Center when we were working on night shifts.
Yeah.
If there was a big game on, I would put it on the big TV, and we all had little speakers at our desk that we could listen to the volume if we wanted to, while we were doing our work, of course.
Obviously.
And when it was women's curling, one of the guys was like, all they're going to do is go, hard, hard. Like he would preemptively just walk by and yell, hard. Because he didn't like it. And I think that would have been one of the, I can't stand the screaming sort of shots.
Right. But again, exciting things are exciting.
Exactly. And that was her first Scotties. Like,
on a crazy shot.
Really crazy shot. Very, very difficult. So worthy of celebration.
Yeah, and what's interesting about that one too, Scott, is if you watch it back, Kathy Gauthier is the inside sweeper sweeping against the curl with the hair broom. Mm-hmm. Like today, not only would she not be on the inside, she wouldn't be sweeping it at all.
No, it's pretty crazy how different it is. And when you look at it and you're like, oh, what are they doing?
Yeah. It's so wrong. But it also reminded me, it's sort of a side note, that during the Brier, when the article came out in the Curling News that the directional sweeping might not actually do anything with the new pads. And a lot of the players were like, well, I'll leave it to, the Kuis and the Gushus of the world who are seeing these rocks over and over again. I'll leave it to them. I'll trust their judgment as opposed to like the science.
Right.
Well, we had like 40 years of stuff like this where they were doing it wrong, and none of the people who saw the rocks coming up and down noticed those differences then either. So I'm going to lean a little bit more to the science on it and what the researchers say, but that's the thing that stands out for me when I watch it. When I just listen to it there, it's the Mike Harris. This is so dumb. That kind of stands out to me.
It's
but
pretty
yeah,
good.
just a wonderful call. Great shot all around. Definitely worth being on the list.
On the CBC website, they put that clip back up, I think in 2015. It was a 10-year anniversary.
Nice.
There's 2 comments under it. I want to read them for you.
Okay.
One is from someone who goes by the handle Concerned. And it says, don't like Jones because of her shameful treatment of Kathy Overton Clapham. She may be a good curler, but she has no class. And then the second comment is from someone who goes by the handle Lord Burt. And it says, I could have made that shot. ...
Well, those do sum up the general things that I've heard club players say about Jennifer Jones over the years.
Yeah, so internet comments, keep doing what
Don't
you
look
do.
at them. Yeah,
all right.
you, internet.
Are you ready for number 2, Sean?
Yes, I am. Let's do it.
Number 2, let's do it.
Erickson knows now it's a double takeout for the USA to score a potential 5.
Wow.
It's still coming.
That was probably the best shot he could have played. If that's made, Schuster only has a shot for 2.
Now, can John Schuster convert? Golden opportunity. Gold medal opportunity. Double takeout to potentially score 5. One, 2, 5 points for the USA.
That's the gold. That's the gold medal right there for USA.
Double takeout, John Schuster. USA scores 5.
And that's the excitement I want to hear from my curling announcer, Sean.
Why did it sound like he was in a fish tank when he made that call?
Yeah, good question. I don't know. But he, we talked a lot about how exciting moments are exciting. But this is an exciting moment that the announcer is invested in.
Yes, clearly very invested in it. He's all in on it. I love at the start though, where the play-by-play guy is like, "All right, it's a shot for 5," and the color guy just says, "Wow."
Yeah. And lets it linger there for just a little bit.
Yeah. Actually, could you let this play out a little longer? There's one other thing that happens here.
Okay, here we go.
1 foot on the top of the podium. The improbable journey continues, but it's not over. After 8 ends, USA 10, Sweden 5.
Okay, that's all right. Got it. He can't control himself. There's so many things he wants to say.
Yeah.
1 foot on the podium, the improbable journey. We're almost there. He hasn't done the Jim Nantz thing where he knows what exactly he wants to say. He clearly had not considered that this could be a possibility, that the Americans would make a big shot to win the game, because he doesn't have it queued up in his head of what he wants to say.
Yeah,
and he's all over the place with it.
And when you need to start thinking about that is when Nicholas Edin makes the choice to play the shot that he does, and knowing that if he doesn't get the role, that the possibility is there. And that's when you've got to be thinking about it like, oh boy, if this doesn't go right, look out.
Yeah. Or maybe I was even thinking when the color guy just says wow and nobody says anything for a while, I was wondering if maybe that's when he was trying to run through what he should say in his head.
Could have been. It could have been. Yeah.
Oh man, but that is so funny. It's a shot for 5.
Wow. And such a huge moment for curling worldwide, getting the USA a gold medal, bringing the sort of profile of the sport that much bigger. I think this shot might be the most famous shot in curling now, worldwide. You can tell me if you think I'm wrong, but I mean, everyone I know knows it, but I know a lot of curling people. So anyway, I thought that one was really great.
Yeah,
and,
that was and somebody in the U.S. can correct us on this. That's not the NBC call. Like, that's not what people on NBC saw, right? Like that's sort of an Olympic feed.
That's the Olympic feed, yeah.
Yeah. So I wonder how it played on NBC, and if the NBC call was even more excited or not, because that is a partnership of one, I'm assuming American, or at least somebody without or with a North American accent as the play-by-play, and then a non-North American doing the color. So whereas on NBC you would have had an American crew plus Kevin Martin, maybe they'd be more excited. Also, they're playing more to an American crowd than these guys would have been, but certainly an exciting moment there. And the call is a lot of fun.
Sure, yeah, and I think the color commentator is Xander, who does a lot of the World Curling Federation stuff.
Yeah, he works with Rona a lot.
Yeah, and he was the one that I was disappointed in his Euro call. So
right.
Anyway, we got one left, Sean.
All right, let's do it.
You're waiting with bated breath?
I'm very bated in my breath, yes.
All right, here we go.
Full in the 8. That's what he needs.
Smart. They figured out it was slower, though.
It's been a spectacular Tim Hortons Brier here in St. John's. He now has the chance to win his first Brier title. Gallant and Nichols. Gallant and Nichols and the crowd. They need to get it. Full 8, and it's a big drag now. It's getting frosty. Full 8 is what you need. Full 8 is what you need to become the Canadian curling champions.
Oh boy.
That can bring a tear to your eye, can't it?
Yeah, getting a little emotional here. Ooh. There you have it.
Yeah, what's really great about that clip too is sort of the timing of it, where he's saying you need the 8 foot for the Canadian Championship is right as the stone is going into the 8 foot. So when he says to be Canadian champion, it's right as the stone is coming to a rest. Like it's just perfectly timed by Vic there, and just beautifully queued up.
Yeah, and some really good camera work, or I would say probably directorial work on the TSN broadcast there, where they have them celebrating. They've got the crowd going insane. The camera's on them for a bit, and then they just show a shot of Mark Kennedy and Kevin Cooey standing there. Kind of, and them taking it in. Like, Kennedy's got a bit of a smile on his face.
Yeah, Kennedy's smiling. Yeah.
Like, even though we lost this is incredible to be here for this kind of thing. And like you say, 8 foot is all you need. He talks about Mark Nichols goes out to sweep because Jeff Walker can't. Just like everything comes together there for one of my favorite shots and one of my favorite calls.
Yeah, I
would
agree.
say my favorite call because I made it number 1.
Right, yeah. It's your ranking, Scott.
Right.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's, certainly an all-timer and one that we'll remember for a long time. I think, though, in terms of the call, I think it's made more by the crowd than the call in the circumstance. It's a great call, no doubt. But is it the best one ever? I think Vic has had some stronger ones overall. I think that one is really the crowd, right? If he does that exact same call to win a Brier for Gushue winning a Brier in Moose Jaw, I don't think it has the same significance.
I don't agree with you. I think full 8 is what they need. Full 8 is what they need is one of his best ones.
Okay. Well, let me throw something at you then.
All right.
2017 War of the Rings men's final. Cooey's throwing a draw. As it's coming in, he says, "They need the 4-foot. They need the 4-foot. They need the 4-foot."
Yes.
Right?
And
it's a
I'll tell you what.
call, and I kind of like that call a little better.
No, I'll tell you what. I did listen to that one. I did consider that one. What I think makes the call is what you say, the Ben Hebert of it all.
Yeah, Hebert's key on that.
It's not as much a Vic call as it is a Hebert.
Come on, Brent. Come on, Brent.
Yeah. So that's why I didn't put it in, and I like this one better.
Okay.
Because there's
All
more
right.
doubt in this one, I think. I feel like Cooey's, in the moment, it looked like it was going to get there, but you still were like, oh, maybe it's frosty and it's going to stop. And this one was like, they are dragging it for everything.
Right. I guess the other thing I would say, though, about the Cooey one is before Cooey throws, there's a shot on all the members of the McEwen team, and Vic says, they've done all they can, an opportunity they may never get again. And I was just like if I'm Mike McEwen's family in Winnipeg, I'm saying, Mike, you might not ever want to watch that full thing with the audio up, because it is just a dagger. Just
incredible performance by McEwen and team.
It's a 3-minute clip, Sean.
They forced him to the in-turn, and it's got to be a little quicker than the out-turn path. The pressure's going to realize that.
So the 4 years of work for both these teams comes down to this in a 6-6 tie.
Where are we taking Price?
Just edge. McEwen is sitting the 2.
I like it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Needs a piece of the 4.
Did we take our
Kevin
timeout,
Cooey's
or is
last.
that our timeout?
It's our timeout.
Okay.
Get used to him saying that.
This is our timeout. Yeah.
Stick you right on the button.
On the button, bud.
McEwen and the team from the Fort Rouge have done all that they can. A chance they may never get again. Final stone on the way.
Daggers.
Okay.
Line's good.
Not great numbers.
Line's never a problem.
Cooey.
Line's
Come on,
good.
Brent Lang. Ben Hebert saying, come on, Brent. We need 4-foot, guys. You need the 4-foot. You need the 4-foot. Here comes Kennedy. You need the 4-foot. You got to carry it to the 4. To the 4. To the 4. And far enough.
Burnstone.
Yep. McEwen should protest. All right. That's good.
Yeah, we get it. Yeah, that's a good one,
so
Sean. You're right.
That's a really good one. I think just the stakes of it and the way Vic really sort of puts a button on what the stakes are. So that one I really like. The Simmons and 15 one, I just like that just in general. The other one I was wondering is Jacobs in the last game of the round robin of the 13 trials. I don't know what the call. I can't remember the call, but there's a big reaction from Russ as Jacobs is trying to get the crowd going. With this big come on.
Yeah, he does so many of those come ons. They were playing that during that semifinal I was watching that I mentioned the other day. So yeah, you can argue for all of them. No doubt. I just took the time to put them all together. So
that's fair.
They're
yeah.
mine.
It's your list. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with your list. It's how you feel.
It's all about how I feel, right?
Yeah, and that's okay.
And that's okay.
Your feelings are entirely valid, Scott.
Aw, thanks, man.
Yeah, so there you have it. Scott's top 10 calls of all time. You can let him know where he went wrong.
Well, there's probably some really great calls that have been made at curling clubs, at the last end of the 9 p.m. draw after everybody's nice and lubed up.
Yeah.
Calling the shot there from behind the glass.
No question. So there you have it. That's our show for this week. Looking at some great calls. Again, stuff you can go back and watch. All those calls are available on YouTube. That's where we got all the audio from, and also from Curling Canada, the World Curling Federation, the Olympic Channel. I think that's all of them.
CBC.
And the CBC, of course. So thanks to everyone for allowing us to use those clips. And thanks to everyone for listening, as always, and joining us through the summer season as we continue with stuff like this. Let us know what you want to hear. You can get in touch with us via email, gameofstonespodcast@gmail.com, and on Twitter and Instagram at Game of Stones Pod. Scott's there at Scott Lakes TV, and I am at Dr. Shawnee Fever. So, Scott, what do you got on tap this week, buddy?
As you know, I've been going through our ballpark pictures.
Yeah.
As of Sunday, I finished off 2017.
Okay.
And
2 years left.
We got 21 parks in so far that we've got pictures of. If you have pictures, Sean, of some that we went to before that, send them to me.
Okay.
But it's really fun. It's been good looking back on all the fun times we've had with baseball now that we're missing it.
Yeah. Do you have? I just thought of this. Do you have one of us in Toronto, Scott?
Oh, that's coming. Coming maybe today. We'll see.
Okay. All right. We'll see what happens. So head on over to @Scott Lakes TV on Twitter and Instagram to check all that stuff out. And of course, if you have not yet, please do subscribe to the show wherever it is you get your podcast. Give us the likes, the ratings, all that stuff. It just helps keep the show going, lets other people find the show. And in this time where I don't know about everyone else, but I've been looking for stuff to listen to. Perhaps some folks are looking for some curling content out there. And if you spread the word, that is the greatest gift to us. Well, it's a nice gift.
Yeah, it's a nice gift. We'll take it.
Yeah, we would certainly appreciate it. So thanks again, everybody, for joining us. We'll be back with you again next Wednesday. But until then, stay safe, everyone, and keep your brooms on the ice and don't dump that intern.